And it's very difficult for a salaried mindset to understand the entrepreneurial mindset. Completely accept that 95% of the startups will fail. But 5% is still bigger than the earlier statistics. Put yourself through this grind once. And if you succeed, hats off to you, brilliant, you are in that 5% and you will get funding and you will go for it. But otherwise, you have become a much better trained engineer, manager, entrepreneur, whom any company will desire at that point. So this is so stark. Instead of waiting for a job, just get on with it. So that mad rush into I'm going to do a startup became, let me get a bit more experienced and then I will come into this. We need a bit more security. I am responsible for my employees and so on.
Hello everybody, welcome to Entrepreneurship Simplified, and this show is going to introduce you to those brilliant ideas and the biggest entrepreneurs who is going to help you decode entrepreneurship to its roots, literally the real life challenges, problems, solutions, and what kind of solutions have helped them to become successful. And in this case, you can actually avoid all those mistakes, rather focus on your growth and realizing your dream of becoming a successful entrepreneur much faster. And this show is being done in association with Young Indians. Young Indians is a movement for Indian youth who is going to converge, co-create, lead, and also influence India's future. As an integral part of CAI, Confederation of Indian Industry, which is a non-government and not-for-profit organization, Young Indians is playing an important role in India's development process. If you want to take part of India's growth, Young Indians is a place to be. And today's guest is from education industry, one of my favorite industry. He holds PhD in Aerospace Engineering from Texas A&M University. He was awarded prestigious upright Outstanding International Student Award, the highest honor given by Texas A&M University to any international student. He is the founder, director of ADCY.io Cybersecurity Solutions and director of Agasthyam International Kalari. Dr. Arun serves as a data science advisor for dataPowaUK and also strategic advisor to Beyondteq Venture Capital. He has authored 2 books, The Startup Habit and 7 C's of Entrepreneurship. His first collection of poems has been published under the title Stirrups. Dr. Arun has also produced the documentary Fragments of Illusion on the Chavittu Natakam dance form. In 2017, he was chosen to deliver the prestigious Vikram Sarabhai Memorial Space Lecture. Help me to welcome Dr. Arun Surendran, Strategic Director and Principal of Trinity College of Engineering. Hi Arun, how are you doing?
Hello, thank you. Thank you for having me here. I'm doing well. Looking forward to talking to you, Rajesh.
First of all, I want to say a big thank you, my dear, for being part of this show. We're all blessed to have your presence. And I just want to ask, how many degrees, right from, IIT, then to PhD into aerospace and coming into a college? I mean, what kind of journey you had in, last few years as I see it, so many changes.
It's been a wonderful journey and, the journey still continues, but I rarely look back to it in terms of degrees. I look at it in terms of the networks that I managed to create, in terms of the friend circles that I've had from school. We, at least till you are 30 years old, India has this amazing habit of setting goalposts for you and then moving them right before you reach them. Right. So I went to school and I was told that engineering is the way to be and then IIT is the place to be. So that's what I focused on. And the moment I got into IIT, then I was told that, no, now you should get a scholarship from US and going to US for higher studies. That's what you need to do. And then I went to US and then there, without a PhD, your education is never complete. So I went into a PhD, but at that time, the entrepreneurial bug kind of caught me because, I never really wanted to work 9 to 5 or work under somebody or being told, because, you have this rebellious spirit of being, first of all, a Malayali and secondly, being a long student in campuses, which are highly charged places in terms of ideas. So I think the only goalpost that I didn't fall into is the one of getting married in India. So I escaped that because I was away during the Indian prime age, and then I came back. By the time I came back, I was out of the market. So luckily, my parents wouldn't put any pressure on me. So that kind of helped me come back to India. And I always enjoyed being on campuses, where the learning keeps happening. It's Michelangelo's that Ancora Imparo that I have in my mind, and still I'm learning. So I try to meet people who can teach me stuff, from whom I can learn, and I'm looking forward to learning from you in this, because it's a fabulous initiative that you have come up with. And I saw the ambitious goal, but you're going to reach it, right? That 100 talks, 100 days, and you're networking everybody. So this again is a learning session for me, which is why I agreed, and then quickly we had to reschedule, but you were so magnanimous in letting me do that. So it's always about whoever is in front of me or the other people. That's been my motto. So it's never been about my journey. It's been about people who came along, people who helped me, and people who continue to guide me into the future. So that's the way I would like to look at it.
I mean, you're so humble in, putting down your achievements. But the thing is, I'm seeing one very, very rare combination here. One, I'm thinking that you're following the goalposts, but then while you're doing it, you're also equally rebellious. As I understood, you've been, you've been actually kind of exploring different dimensions of whatever you choose. Like what you were talking about, when you were doing aerospace, connecting into trading. I mean, how creative, you had to think to get into something like that. Can you please share something on why you had to go into that journey, being in the PhD?
Yes. See, there I was like a 22-year-old guy who landed up in US to do my master's, and that at that point was the goal achieved, right? I had to go on a scholarship to a highly ranked university, and I managed to get into Agila and Texas A&M. And I was extremely thrilled at that point. So that goalpost was achieved. So at that point, when my PhD advisor, who soon was to be my PhD advisor, asked me if I wanted to do something, I said, no, I was absolutely open to any kind of idea. So he was kind of waiting for somebody who wouldn't insist that they want to work on fluid mechanics or computational fluid mechanics or satellite control theory or anything. He ended up getting somebody who was willing to do totally bizarre stuff. So he told me this very crazy idea of, at that time, algorithmic trading was just picking up, and a lot of aerospace engineers were being hired by Wall Street. So this field was picking up at that time. So he wanted to give it a shot, and I thought, why not? Because, finance is fascinating. I'm son of two bankers. So, at home, it has always been about money, other people's money. So that kind of a financial engineering background, it helped me take courses in economics and financial engineering at that time, to walk around the campus very much. And I was also very, very keen on theater. I always did some acting in theater and stuff. So I needed more freedom to walk between the campuses, get to the theater school and things like that. So that project I took up, because at least I was pretty sure I wouldn't be tied down to one lab equipment for the next 5-6 years trying to do my PhD. So that flair helped. And once I got into trading, you naturally had to explore the different companies in NYSE and NASDAQ and so on. So there, it was a lot of knowledge gathering about what entrepreneurs do, how they ended up coming into these things. And I want to say something. This again is another very Indian concept of specialization till death, right? We ask very weird questions like, oh, you are an engineer, how do you write poetry? So it's as if, we are genetically something and we shouldn't do anything else. Yes, that's it. This is your box. You should sit in this box. Anything else is wow and this and that. But for me, this is fragmentation, right? You are really confused. And which is why I think one of the problems people face at work from home situation, the psychological problem, is that they are a totally different split personality, like the Manichitrathal movie. They are a Nagavelli in office and back home they are somebody else. So that personality clash really affected a few people when work from home happened. And I think that really spoils the kind of energy that you have and that you can bring to anything. But as far as an entrepreneur is concerned, there should be a completely incomplete personality who will get fascinated and curious about anything and actually appreciate and run behind people who are really specialized and who can generate wealth, but are really confused at that point about, they just don't have the courage to pursue it. So we are the courage group, which may be completely unjustified and many times really stupid, but we have the courage and the guts to go ahead with an idea which is barely formed. And for that, I think you will end up seeing it from multiply diverse fields. Maybe an idea will click you when you watch a drama or watch a TV series or some article you randomly read in some magazine. Maybe a photograph will inspire you to do something, explore, go out, go on a trek, and then you will find something that will inspire you. So that's basically the essence of, being myself. I'm a human being in 21st century. So there are so many possibilities, but I'm also evolved from primates and monkeys and so on. So monkey see, monkey do is always there. I try to find the good monkeys I can imitate so that, it helps us get somewhere and spread the joy for being alive, bring comfort to people.
I can clearly see it. I really want to admit one thing here. As much as goalposts have kept you in certain direction, you seem to have cheated goalpost every single time.
Every single time. Yeah.
And then you led by example. One important thing I'm seeing here is, you need to explore at that age, especially you're an author, you're an actor, you actually produced a documentary, then you're into startup. And, I'm seeing this whole thing because there's someone just before I got into the call, I've seen a message in my LinkedIn saying that, hey, your profile looks too diversified. I'm really, confused what it is. Can I get in touch with you? Because probably this may be okay in US, where somebody from mechanical to jump into singing and all that. But I think, what do you suggest in India if somebody wants to pursue that, just following their heart? What is that you suggest? Especially the pressure is from parents, right? Engineer, doctor, lawyer. I mean, lawyer is even still very less. Engineer or doctor is pretty much it. Even in my family, 2 engineers and 1 doctor. So what do you suggest for this current generation who likes to pursue entrepreneurship or passion?
It has become much better in the last 10 years, as I see in the college. Parents are more open, and people are now, I think startups have become sort of glamorized and glorified in an unjustified fashion. It is not that much, but people are jumping into it because all they are imagining is BMWs and this and that and so on. I'll come back to that about why faculty entrepreneurship is important at that point. But I want to discuss a very simple principle that you can use. I would like to call it O, as in, OWE, something that you owe your future self. So the O, W, and E, O stands for opportunities, right? It depends on kind of opportunities that you can seize and kind of opportunities that you put yourself into. So it takes a lot of courage to say yes to things, and an open-mindedness to say yes. At the same time, you should be putting yourself into groups and meetings and get-togethers and networks where the possibilities are there, rich possibilities. For example, Young Indians, really, you bring all these entrepreneurs together and you hear these amazingly diverse stories from all parts of India, from Nagaland to Rajasthan to Jammu Kashmir and Kerala. It gives you all these opportunities, possibilities. So opportunities, we need to always keep ourselves open to. So I produced a documentary because I had the opportunity and I took it. So anything that I've done is because an opportunity presented itself and I did not say no. There are plenty of things which I said no to, but these are the things that diversely kept me occupied. And the second W is for wisdom, and this rarely comes at a young age. So you have to get to 35, 40, maybe 60 is when it'll come, but you get wiser and wiser year after year. So when you get to maybe YI next and then you're out of YI is when your wisdom really, which helps you then screen or filter the opportunities that come in. And having specific goals help. For example, if you set a target of, let's say, 50 lakhs as your revenue target for the next 2 months, then you will always quantify the opportunities that come to you, right? Maybe something that comes as 25 lakhs would be worth it. But imagine if you had set yourself a goal of, let's say, 5 crores. Then you will never pick this 25 lakhs thing because it's not an opportunity. It's going to waste your time because your goal is so far away. So always you have to quantify these things properly. So that's how and this comes with wisdom, with age, with meeting people and so on. And the last E is about energy. usually when we have the wisdom, there is no energy left to do these things. We have become so conditioned with the 9 to 5, or this is my field and I don't know anything about the other field. So here, last year I started the Kalari training, Kalari Pite, which is the martial arts of Kerala, which is known as the mother of all martial arts. Too late. Usually it's 6 or 7 year olds who started. And I started it in 42. Now, that helps because first of all, we got a structured program which helps people of any age to start. But before the British, before Macaulay came in, this used to be the traditional education system here in Kerala. And that's not fragmented at all, because you have physical mind-body training that goes on. You have a bit of self-defense that comes in. You have a warrior mindset that's automatically created. There is courage, there is openness, there is alertness to everything. Then you learn a bit of Ayurveda, which is about your health. There is always something about astronomy and music and mathematics that's built in. So you see, there the education is not to get a job. It's how to live your life as a proper human being. So you take care of your physical and mental health. You are aware of your surroundings in a very systematized way, and then so on and so forth. So I think we need to come back to that aspect, which would help us, re-navigate the thing. And entrepreneurs at least have the freedom to take that leap.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that. What kind of, I know you're already doing, especially a lot of innovation in bringing the right faculty for the entrepreneurs. And as you're speaking, right, in my opinion, all these three are equally important for the entrepreneur, especially when they're starting. And what kind of methodology you're actually following in the college, which can help these young entrepreneurs?
Yes. See, one of the big difference that I saw when I went to the US is we call medical and engineering degrees both to be professional degrees, right? Which means you should be able to work unsupervised at the end of this thing. You should have your own way of doing it. But if you look at a medical college, a very good medical college, nobody thinks of it as a college. They only look at it as a hospital. For the common man, medical college is a place where they go when they fall sick, when they need surgery and so on. So Trivandrum Medical College is there, Alappuzha Medical College is there. Nobody even takes any attention to that word college, because that's the place where the best of the best doctors are available actually doing their thing, medicine. And then they train the next generation. So my thinking was, why wouldn't anybody bring problems to engineering colleges, real world, real life problems? Because engineering colleges somehow do not have engineers. We only have this category called engineering professors who are not practicing engineers, right? Yeah. They are only aware of the syllabus. They will teach it. They will help you clear the exam, get a degree and go, maybe do a project or two. But if your mobile phone breaks down, if there is an electronics department, they should be able to fix it, because they are at least teaching the next generation, right? If your pump breaks down, obviously the mechanical engineering department should have people who should be able to fix it. But our mindset is that is blue collar, white collar. If I have grease on my hand, that's not engineering, that's technical. We have already divided it. We'll only do design, we'll only answer the essay questions and things like that. For example, we use some very simple questions to pick faculty members. One of the things I ask people is, there's a resistor. The resistor, the simple resistor. I ask them, what's the cost of the resistor in market? 90% of people have absolutely no idea. They will give me a definition of resistor, color coding of resistor, but they've never gone to a shop and picked up a resistor, or actually done a project in which a resistor was needed to be built. So you cannot create engineers unless you are an engineer. This is an apprentice-based education system to the core. So you will only create more and more engineering professors. People who are academically vibrant, who can write papers, who can do this, do that. And then you wonder why China is ahead and why our manufacturing base is not coming up. So this is what I wanted to basically address. So when entrepreneurship was projected on the campuses, we get a lot of inspiring speakers to come and talk, and then they'll go away. And then the faculty will go back to the class. And they have no interest in this because they are interested in placing the students and making them clear exams. They are salaried people, okay? And it's very difficult for a salaried mindset to understand the entrepreneurial mindset. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, the author of Black Swan, he has made this incredibly true statement that there are 3 fatal addictions that a human being can have. The first one is heroin. Rest of the things, probably you can go to a rehab and get out of it, but heroin is fatal and can kill you. Then it's carbohydrates, which I think South Indians should relate more, rice and things like that. We really love it. And then, it is slowly killing us. The more we have it, it's an addiction. It's a fatal addiction. The third thing he says is a monthly salary. It will kill you. If you are so addicted to it, then people can manipulate you with it. They can raise it, lower it, put pressure on it, and things like that. So it's very, very difficult to switch. So what was happening in colleges is that entrepreneurship, the poster child, always Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, these are people rarely somebody from Trivandrum or let's say Amravati can associate with. So you are only in a dream world without any realistic associations. So we wanted actual engineering faculty. I told them, you are, probably 1% of this nation when it comes to higher degrees and things like that. So start something, because we will give you a lab for free, right? You are guaranteed your professor salary. So then don't worry about, your home being not supported or fighting with your wife or mother or something about salary. You will get it because you're teaching. And third, you have this absolutely free, enthusiastic manpower coming to you in terms of students. They're ready to do these things if you just give it to them. If you have such a beautiful ecosystem, why wouldn't you start? I mean, entrepreneurs will wish for something like this, where you have a steady income, you are given all the facilities, and you are provided manpower. So at least I'm lucky that there were a few faculty who jumped on this, utilized the opportunity, and then they got started, and we became very, very realistic, because our students were no longer looking at Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They were seeing Jimmy sir and Vijay sir and Vivin sir and so on, having the struggle to pay salary, looking for keeping the client satisfied, landing new projects. So it became very, very real. So that mad rush into I'm going to do a startup became, let me get a bit more experienced and then I will come into this. We need a bit more security. I am responsible for my employees and so on. So the real lessons came in. And then they started looking for innovation and a combination with entrepreneurship, not just, trying something which is service industry, which has so many people have done, but let's create something new and try to create wealth. So that's the Trinity story and how we stand differently from, with our ecosystem.
I would like to know what kind of, thought process this, there are so many batches which must have come out after this concept is. What kind of students are coming out, or what percentage of the students are really becoming entrepreneurs?
Yes. I think eventually all of them will become. So, right now they are getting into jobs and going for higher studies and so on. Because, when I went to US and the professor I worked with, he used to come to campus on a Lamborghini Diablo. This is unimaginable in India, a prof coming in a Lamborghini Diablo, because he had patented his inventions and outsourced them to companies, and he was part of the board of directors of that company. So the man had money. And man was a wealth creator. And he was a professor because he was too good for the industry, right? He was creating new industries. So that kind of a mindset was there. For example, right now, all the companies that are in AI or ML or any of the cutting edge field, they are worried about what Yale and MIT and Stanford students are doing, what those professors in those labs are doing, because that could change the entire industry very quickly. That's how it keeps changing. But here in India, we are asking Infosys and TCS, should we teach Python now, or is Java enough now? So we are behind the industry. Yes, it's the other way around. So we wanted to change it. So in our college, we have kept these signboards in different locations, which says, don't try to be a job seeker, try to be a job creator, try to employ 10 people, try to give job for 10 people, because you are indeed, come to think of it, look at the population of India. If you are a student who made it to an engineering college, you are in the top 5% of the population of this country. So you owe it to the society to employ people, not to walk around, bothered about what my salary is, will I get this job, get that job. So that mindset, it comes from our chairman and managing director, Dr. Thomas Alexander. He is a product of Ramaya College, Bangalore, 1983 batch, and he runs Al Adrak Muscat, which is one of the largest construction conglomerate in Muscat. So whenever he visits campus, he says the same thing. He had a BTech and he went ahead with it and created this company which has 10,000 workers now, 1,000 engineers. So if he can do it, he says, try at least for 10 employees. So that mindset is here. And some of our students a couple of our students who are in Canada now, they went for higher studies. I was very happy. A couple of months ago, they called me and said, we are trying to set up a startup here. So the word startup has been in the system. you're so familiar with it, it no longer scares you. It's not a concept that you haven't heard of. When you hear something when you are 18 to 22, it won't scare you for the rest of your life because you heard it with your friends and you heard it in a campus environment. So we are injecting this whole startup bug into everybody, and we are hoping sooner or later it will bite whenever they are ready. So I don't insist on people starting up straight away. They can. Whenever we get a very good innovative project, we are either try to collaborate with some industry and then set up a small startup and let them through with it. Or the students will have the opportunity to work in the startups of the professors. So it's again that apprentice mode where they get trained in not only the engineering aspects, but also the entrepreneurial aspect. So that's the model with which we are going. So see, this can work, it should work. And that's the only way we can create realistic entrepreneurs who are joyful in doing this. But we are also, I don't know how effective the whole American idea of valuation and, this $1 million, $1 billion coming, going, that's not very Indian. I don't know how many of us will ever get into that kind of a rat race of projecting the wealth. We somehow still remain very family beings where we are worried about how our neighbors are, how our extended family are, and so on. So we will be more people focused. Yeah. We will always be looking at how the companies will expand in terms of people, geographically go here and there and have support more families. And almost all the brilliant entrepreneurs I've seen, including my boss, Dr. Thomas Alexander, they talk only in terms of people. Very, very rarely. I mean, they are in the Forbes list and are billionaires themselves, but they'll tell you that this project, instead of telling you the money involved in that project, they'll tell you this will need 25 new engineers. It'll always be in terms of the human beings involved, the human capital, because the other wealth will go through cycles. It'll come, it'll go, you'll have your ups and downs, and you'll be comfortable beyond a point after some time. But it's the people who always matter, and always the young talent. Where is the next generation coming? Will they fit in to whatever it's the funnel that you've created?
I wanted to really kind of understand if there is any one last advice for these entrepreneurs. I mean, I don't even want to call entrepreneurs. I want to call them the students in last stage of their college. What kind of thinking they should implement to, come out as a solution maker, or probably, giving some solution to the society instead of asking for a job.
Yes, it's a very, very simple, straightforward statistics, but people don't look at it this way. We have the Public Service Commission here in the state, which provides the government jobs, right? And people just go and write it. Hundreds of thousands of them will keep writing it. You must have heard all these stories about, PhD people applying for sweeper job and things like that, and then they wait endlessly to get that job. Look at that number, okay? If you have, let's say, 100 openings in the government, or 100 openings in a very good private sector company or public sector unit, 100 openings, there will be 100,000 people, right, applying. Without doubt, in India, 1 lakh, 2 lakh will apply for that, for 100 openings. So what's your chance of success? Very, very simply, I'm asking you, what's your chance of success? You calculate that, 100 divided by 100,000. Now, I will completely accept that 95% of the startups will fail. But 5% is still bigger than the earlier statistics. Yeah. 5%. You have a chance to succeed much better than writing that stupid exam and continuing to put on a waiting list. That's first statistics. Secondly, if you're an entrepreneur, from day one, if you have a company, you are learning like hell. You are simply not by-hearting what multiple choice questions will come for this. You're not going to read useless things which are not connected to your education just for that exam you're studying. Where will it leave you at the end of it if you're not getting through? But as an entrepreneur, every day you meet people, you look at the accounts, you're building a team, you're innovating, you're learning. So even at the end of 3 years, if your enterprise fails, you have grown so much as a human being that any company would be willing to take you at that time. Yeah. Because you come with such immense diverse experience and you have put yourself through the grind, they can see it. And you are much better than somebody who only learned for that aptitude and attitude test that the company projects. So this is what students should understand. Put yourself through this grind once. And if you succeed, hats off to you, brilliant, you are at that 5% and you will get funding and you will go for it. But otherwise, you have become a much better trained engineer, manager, entrepreneur, whom any company will desire at that point. So this is so stark. Instead of waiting for a job, just get on with it. Because right now, India, the environment is so nice, it's all pumped up. There is funding. A lot of people are wealthy enough. They're looking for youngsters to come up with ideas. So that's the inertia should change now. The time has come. This is the decade.
This statistic is, mind-boggling. Like you said about it, right? 100 versus 100,000. Instead of going for 0.00001% possibility, go for that 5% possibility. And, I can't really say anything better statistics than what Arun has told just now. Number one, break that inertia, be part of that at least a better probability. And the second thing is to make sure that your learning curve in the initial stages are a lot more higher, so that you are demanded even in my organization or any organization, they would look for that attitude, the real life experience. So I would rather say, look into this. 3 biggest takeaways I would say is break the inertia, be part of the awe, and make sure you come out with something absolutely a clear plan going forward, like what Arun said. And Arun, I want to say really a big thank you for your wonderful, valuable time and extraordinary advices, because it's like, you're dropping all your years of experience into small nuggets. That's what I call as knowledge nuggets, right? So yeah.
That's where the professor experience comes through, because you have to put it within the same hour of the class, get it across.
So thank you so much for being part of the show. And you people, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe, and also share with every single student out there which can make an impact, because this can change their life forever. So, but otherwise, I will see you with another amazing guest next week. Till then, we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you.